Wolfpack Nation, we are here for part 3, baby, again, of our NC State football 2022 season predictions. Oh, man, we are so excited to round this thing out here as we have been going and going, but we are almost there. So with that being said, if you haven't checked out parts 1 and 2 yet, make sure to do that again. So check that out first and then come right back here. But with that being said, again, we are going to be breaking down the final 4 games of the season for NC State football. And again, make sure before we get rolling here, make sure again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, which is free to do, so you're notified whenever we release any new NC State content. Also, to give this video a like if you don't mind. Also, to give us a follow, Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter and Instagram. But with that being said, so again, obviously, I think we've all given NC State a lot of wins so far. Now let's see if it ends up. But I think this first game we're going to be talking about, again, we're recording this on August 11th, but about 48 hours ago, we were going to, I think, going to be having a much different conversation now about this game than we were. And not to say again that, again, obviously with Sam Hartman's injury, for those who don't know, he was announced to be out indefinitely. Now the word indefinitely means that he could be back next week, or he could be back in a year, or even more. Like, nobody knows how long he's going to be out. And up to this point, nobody really knows what's going on with him. So it's really kind of all speculation right now. But with that being said, though, I guess you know what? Let's change it up. Kenzie, I don't know. I think you've only done one so far that you started off. So we're going to get you to start off this one. W.
There we go.
Yes, I love it. For those who are listening, Kenzie just held up a piece of paper with a W on it. So, Kenz, I love it.
And that was for win, not wait. Yeah, win, not wait.
Go ahead.
And that was for W, not wait.
Win.
That was for win, not wait.
Yes.
And it was the yellow.
It was yellow and black.
I didn't have any red or black paper.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
homecoming, gonna be crazy, obviously, and I think once again the atmosphere is gonna be impossible. And I think after last year, we definitely want to beat these guys. I know I do.
Oh, yeah.
I know Wolfpack Nation does, and I know these guys do. So I think that we're gonna get our revenge this year, and smooth sailing.
I love it. All right. So for me, obviously, Wake Forest, again, it's just, obviously from a national standpoint, it would be better, obviously, to face Sam Howell, just because, again, obviously you'd want to face a much higher team. But for this year alone, again, our goal, if we win the national championship, then great. But obviously that's not our goal this year. Our goal is to get at least 10 wins and win the AC championship. Just saying, it matters more when you're trying to make it to the playoffs, which that's not necessarily our goal this year. Our goal is to win AC championship and see where we go. But from there, again, obviously Wake Forest wise, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think the last they announced their starting quarterback that's going to be replacing Sam, and he hasn't thrown a touchdown since 2020, early in 2020 as well. So again, he hasn't played much live football in a game since. So again, it's really kind of hard to say too much because again, it really just depends on what happens with Sam Hartman. That really is what it all comes down to. But I think either way, even with Sam Hartman here, I think the revenge factor would be too much. And I think playing at home is going to be too much. And I think we win this game either way, no matter if Sam Hartman comes back or not. Macon, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think you got to assume the predictions that Sam's not playing at this point, just because that's just what we have to work with. I do agree, Leighton, though, that I don't think in this situation, I don't think it would matter. But I still, in my prediction, does not change regardless. I just want to highlight Wake Forest has really great receivers. So I'm A.T. Perry is legit. Is going to be a pro.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the other guys' names. I know they got a guy, Green, that was a receiver they had last year who could not play, who's a 4-star guy. I believe his last name was Green.
Donovan Green.
Donovan Green. I was going to say it's Devontae Green. Donovan Green. He'll be back, and no one's really seen him play a whole lot, but he's going to be a very big player for them. So even with a backup quarterback, those good receivers can make him look good.
Mm-hmm.
So having said all that, I still do think this is a win for State. I think it's a homecoming game. Thursday. It's not Thursday night. It's a night game. I believe it'll be, or is that announced right?
No, it hasn't been decided yet.
Okay.
Too early. Well, I think I don't think it'll be a noon game. Maybe it will now that Sam's not playing. It won't be as enticing, but I still think it's a win. I think you obviously, if you're assuming that you don't have your starting quarterback, then he's probably in all indications are where that's very favorable for State. I mean, we talked about this offline. The betting line for Wake Forest's win total was at 8.5, and the news is Sam Hartman took it down to 7. Mm-hmm. Dropping a game and a half instantly.
That's crazy.
That's a big jump in. I don't gamble obviously, but that's a big jump from what I understand. So
it is. Yeah. And because one other thing, which I'll add as well, is that keep in mind that even if Sam Hartman does come back at some point this season before he plays us, it's not going to be the same as if he would have had the entire camp and also do all the games leading up to us as well. Exactly. So that's going to affect it to a sort. So I just want to add that. Greg, go ahead.
And again, injuries may play an effect for both us and Wake Forest too. So there may be other injuries that impact this game. I just think face value, the way it sets up, I think State gets this one.
Greg.
Yeah, obviously last year's game was a high scoring affair, 45-42, which leads me to my point is, Wake Forest was one of the worst defenses in all of the ACC last year. So much they brought in a new DC, Brad Lambert from Purdue, to try to overhaul and revamp that defense. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much, obviously this will be game 9 to the season. We'll know a lot more about the defense and see how much improvement they're going to have. But with our offense, I expect us to put up 40 points again this game. And then the difference will be, can they keep up?
Yeah.
So
I agree. Michael?
And it's a W for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have it as a win too, with or without Sam Hartman. Obviously, I'm more confident in that with if Hartman doesn't play.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, Wake Forest has had our number the last couple of years. So, being at home,
definitely been an Achilles.
Being at home, their defense, even with the new DC, I don't see it being that much better. Last year, we were terrible on third down. I mean, we stopped them 1 or 2 more times on some third downs in that game. Maybe we win. And so I think it will be another high scoring, but I think we pull out the win at home.
Yep, absolutely. Ken's, round us out.
Oh, I already went.
She did. She
first. Oh, sorry.
You don't even have to ask
I was looking at my notes.
At this point. Just skip me.
I love it.
Mickey, can you take over?
I love it. All right, good deal. Yeah, because one other stat too, which we haven't even brought up, but is probably our most eye-opening stat from last year, is that in second quarter scoring last year, we were 117-58. So we dominated the second quarter last year for the entire season. Like again, that score spread is combined for the entire season. So it'll be interesting to see if we keep that going this year. So anyway, so now moving on to, I lost my notes. Sorry. Boston College senior day. So this is a one which I think that Boston College is definitely sneaky. Can't look past them by any means, but to me, the Wake Forest game, you have the revenge factor. For this game, you have the senior day factor. So, which is another reason why I don't think that you lose again. I mean, senior day, I'm sure Devin Leary is going to be a part of the senior day antics because, I mean, as long as he stays healthy and does 90% of what he did last year, he's going to go pro and, be probably, depending on what happens, top 3 round, draft pick for sure. So I just don't see that happening, not for us, and not on senior day. And I mean, obviously with Boston College, I know their star wide receiver came back instead of deciding to. Apparently, it was publicly known that he turned down some pretty high money opportunities to transfer to stay at Boston College. So, which hats off to him for sure. I think we can all fans say.
Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, he's a North Carolina kid.
Nice. Yeah, I remember that too. And so again, hats off to him for that for sure. So Boston College will be no pushover for sure, but I just don't see us losing at home, especially with all of the hype and all of the momentum. Because either way, I still think that even if we do lose to Clemson, and because if we lose to Clemson, we're going to take care of business from there, in my opinion. And so even going into that point, only having one loss, there's going to be a lot of hype and momentum around NC football. I just don't see us taking that loss too hard. So we're going to go a little bit backwards. To give Greg an opportunity here to finish this out. So Michael, why don't I hand it to you first?
Yeah. So Boston College, they get Jerkovic back. He's honestly, he might be when you're talking like NFL potential, he may be the number one in the ACC.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Yeah. I mean, him and Zay Flowers are a dangerous combination, but Boston College, they return only one offensive lineman and only one defensive lineman. So, I think we'll dominate them on both sides of the line. And so, yeah, I have this as a W on senior night as well.
Yep. All right, Kens, are you adding any in or just giving us a dub?
We're not losing on senior day. That's all I have to say.
I love it. All right, Macon, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was senior day, but just knowing that Boston College they've lost a lot of pieces, a lot of players, and especially if it's in the trenches, that's where the games are won. So I just don't see us losing this game. I do think that I think Zay Flowers is as much of a threat. Maybe the other guy is a little more, but as Josh Downs is for Carolina, he's just you got to know where he is at all times. So I think this will be a game where if you can contain Flowers, you're going to be all right, in my opinion. So. Yeah, I think it's a W. And I think this is too, if you look at my prediction to this point, I haven't picked a loss yet, which is kind of foolish maybe. But I think this would be the 10th win for State. So I think if you're, again, a senior day, the potential to get the 10th win at home, I think if those predictions happen, which is so many stars and a lot of luck has to happen in a lot of ways too. I think the idea of getting that 10th win on senior day would be huge. And you're just not gonna, play for the seniors concept will come into effect there, but also play for a legacy. I just think State's.
Well, think about it. How crazy would it be? Because I mean, if you're 9-0 heading into Boston College, you're definitely probably top 7, top 6, something like that. So I mean, you're right there on the bubble with the college football playoff, and all State fans, probably include myself, be peeing their pants, going, "Oh my God, like that is insane to think about." So, but I mean, it's a definite possibility. So, Greg, finish this out, brother.
Yeah, again, senior day. And if it is potentially the 10th win, that would only be the second time in program history. You shut down the Djokovic to Flowers combo, you're going to win the game. Yeah.
Simple as that.
Mackenzie, can you hold that W up for me?
Got it.
It's kind of crooked.
W.
And I got a W.
Right.
Love it. Love it. All right. So now we're getting to the game, which I think of the four now I'm circling for sure. I can honestly make an argument that now with the news about Sam Hartman, I think Louisville has moved up in my books to the second hardest game on our schedule. I think that Louisville is a big game. That was going to be a tough game because I know even the line right now that Vegas has out, it's almost at a pick 'em. It's like I think we're only favored by like 1 point right now over Louisville. And again, keep in mind that we're playing at Louisville, so definitely a lot there to it. So with that being said, we'll go backwards. Why not? So, Greg, since you ended it, let's start it out if you don't mind.
Yeah, I agree. This could be, if I hadn't taken Florida State earlier as my loss, this would have probably been the one what I would have circled for. We've only, since they've joined the ACC, Louisville, that is, we've only won one time there. So it's not been a place that's been too kind to us. In fact, I was actually at that game a couple of years ago when we won. It's a place where, they could be looking forward to a new basketball season with a new head coach, if they're, out of it, they could be looking for a new football coach as well. they do have Malik Cunningham, who's electric. Probably one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the ACC, arguably. I don't think they have much more than that that can compete with us. So yeah, if they're already out of it, I don't expect a big crowd, and that's definitely plays in our favor.
Absolutely, love it. Macon, go ahead.
So going up to Louisville in the cold worries me. And late in the season, I don't know if the concept of 10 wins fires up the team or not. I think it would. I think it'd be a similar effect as having beaten Clemson on the road and leaving a legacy in that regard. I think I've heard this say before that if we had not seen Lamar Jackson, would Malik Cunningham just not be just absolutely blowing us away?
Yeah,
because his ability to run and move. We've seen Lamar. He's like, okay, well, Lamar's the great is up here, and then Malik's here. But if we had never seen Lamar Jackson, Malik is
pretty close. Yeah,
he's really good. He is like a poor man's Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
And I think this is the game State loses. And this is my first loss so far. I think State's going to lose this game. I think
You're going strong, Macon.
you've got. No, I gotta be honest somewhere. But this Louisville game worries me. It just does. I think it would be some. I don't want to say. I hate the whole NC State stuff comment or the perception State's always going to find a way to blow it or whatever.
And we debunked that too, Macon.
We debunked it.
We debunked it. Remember?
No. Right, that's true. That's right, but no, I think that whole conversation is garbage. I'm not even trying to go play into that. I just do think. I think Travion Cooley has a good game. The running back against us. I am worried. I'm just damn worried about that. I think Louisville's a little underrated place to play at. I don't know. I don't feel good about this game for some reason. So. This is my first loss for the team, and I think it's going to really hurt. And I think it's going to come at a bad time considering we're going to who we play next. So,
Kenzie, anything to add here?
I don't know. Obviously, Michael said earlier, I'm the one that's probably everybody's going to know I'm not going to pick us to lose. So I don't know if I should go with my head, which my head's saying that this would also be the game we lose. But I'm going with my heart. We're going to win. We're going to come back home with a win. Our 11th straight one. I stand by that statement.
Love it. I love it. Let's do it. Okay. All right, cool. Michael, what do you got for us?
So, these late games in the season are so hard to predict just because between injuries,
who knows what's
the
going to
rest
happen.
of the season plays out. Like Greg was saying, they could have a new football coach by now. I think the way I think about it is if this game was first on our schedule, I'd pick us to win. So I don't think, being at the end of the season, even if we are undefeated or one other loss, I think we still have the maturity and the talent to go to Louisville and win. Yep. So I'm going with the W.
Before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout Eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need, offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flatlands Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flatlands Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flatlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out. Yeah, and before I give my prediction too, because one of the things which I want to talk about is that obviously there's so many cards that go into the season that are working out really nicely in terms of the fact that we have a lot of experience this year. We have a lot of mature players this year. We also too accomplished a lot in terms of really opening up the mindset of that. Obviously we know how to win, and the fact that we came back against Carolina and beat them in a tough situation. We beat Clemson finally. We finally got over that hump. There's many times over the past few years where we put our backs against the wall and the guys fought out of it and found a way to win. And then also too, on top of it, the fact that 7 of our first 10 games of the season are home. And obviously with it being so tough to play at home, that's a huge factor. And then the fact that our only game on the road to that point, which is really a huge test, is Clemson. And again, so that's why, I mean, truly, I think that if we can get by Clemson, it is not a crazy thought, 12-0 for sure.
Yeah.
Now I say crazy thought saying that it's a crazy thought in my head thinking 12-0, that seems like insane, but it's not far-fetched. Let's put it that way. It is not like an insane thought that we could ever hit 12-0. But I will say that, again, just like I said, this is the one that I circled. Me and my wife and my family are going to be there. And because we have close family friends that are there, so we're going to be there in the cold, no matter what it is, we're going to be there. And I'm going to be shaking like no other because it's cold, and also too because I'm going to be nervous as all get out. And
it won't be that bad.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, because
it's not that far north. It's just
well, yeah, and I mean, but again,
it'll be like our November. It's like we were there. It was about 47, 50 degrees. So, I mean, it'll be a pretty summer.
Okay, well, my sunburn from ECU, so I'm going to look forward to that. At that point, I'm going to just be getting better.
Yeah. So, but again, a lot of people have us losing here, and I feel like I can't be that person that picks us to go 12-0 because there ain't no way in heck I'm going to pick us to lose to Carolina. So I feel like this has got to be the one where I got to pick us to slip, but because again, I'm just like, I just don't see it. I can't wrap my head around it. So I've just, for some reason, between the fact that there is so much because Louisville this year with Malik Cunningham, the Cooley, the running back, and also too, they also got a transfer, Tyon Evans, who was a 4-star running back and a 4-star transfer from Tennessee as well. So they're going to have a lot of firepower on the offense side. I think there's going to be a lot of hype, not hopefully, sorry, bad word. There's going to be a lot of hype more than likely. By that point, assuming that Louisville has a pretty decent season up to that point. So I think it'll be a pretty tough environment. If I'm going to pick one to lose, I'm going to pick this one. So, but that's a tough one for me. So, all right. So yes, 10-1.
Wait,
I know. Well, it's just like,
sorry, you doing that?
Loss.
Oh,
yeah, get out of here with that. All right, loss. All right. So, moving on now to the finale, UNC at Kenan Stadium.
Basically,
and
if you think about it,
basically by that point, I think it's going to be basically a state. Even if we're 10-1 by that point, even whether we lose to, if we're 10-1 or 11-0 heading into UNC, it's going to be stupid red. It's going to be stupid red. Stupid. So, Greg, your eye's about to burst out. Go, brother.
No, I don't know. This brings back so many flashbacks from last year. So, I don't.
My leg is starting to get sore.
Cramping up.
It's been a
while. Yeah, there's people still high on Carolina. Obviously, not as high as they were last preseason. And I think if you are high on them, you are high because I don't see them being that good. Like I see this as a 7-5 type team. And that's, to me, that's the ceiling, or the ceiling is the roof, or whatever it is. So they do bring back Josh Downs. He's a stud. There's no denying that. He's going to be probably a first round pick next year. Who even knows who's going to be quarterback there? It could be little Luke May or
Drake May. Yeah. Little Luke May. I got you. My fault. I got you.
Yeah. So
it'll probably be good as well. I think.
I do too, actually. But so yeah, I think it's a rivalry game. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. State wins.
Cool. All right. Kens.
You will
I'm going to go ahead.
Ever hear me say that we're losing to Carolina. You will never hear those words come out of my mouth. So I am proudly that person, and I'm ready to say I told you so to every Wolfpack fan that doesn't think we're going 12-0 this year. I will proudly say that at the end of the season.
I love it. Yeah, no, again, I think that for us, that just by that point, even if worse comes worse, we're 9-2 heading at that point, that there's still going to be just so much hype for NC State. There's going to be a ton of red there supporting. So, and I just, I don't see us doing it this year. So again, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I think we're going to win this game. And, again, because one of the things which is interesting to me as well is I was looking at like the transfers as well as freshmen as well. Like they didn't bring in any transfer wide receivers, which is, I think, interesting to me because I feel like that for UNC especially, that should have been a priority. I mean, looking at you literally fed sorry, I'm blanking on the wide receiver. Josh Downs. Sorry. Yes.
Downs.
I mean, the fact you literally threw him the ball 12 to 15 times a game, that can't go long term because also too, I mean, that's gonna make an effect on Josh Downs. It's just asking for an injury to Josh Downs too. So that is kind of shocking to me. But so that's really kind of where my biggest thing is that I see that defense wise, it'll probably be just as okay, maybe a little bit better, but not much better. And then offensively, you're losing Sam Howell. That's all you really need to say right there. And you're not really helping yourself wide receiver wise as well. So I just don't see anything there that I'm really too worried about. And there's not going to be any kind of home field advantage for UNC by that point. So Macon, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I think this is a win. I just think people are kind of sleeping on Carolina, though. That's the only thing I will say. I do think that. I mean, British Brooks is a really good running back. We saw what he did against us last year. I think Jacoby Criswell is going to be a fairly good QB. We did hear the news that Antoine Green, we talked about it offline, his collarbone, I think you said, McKenzie. Yep. I checked out the news, said he's out 16 weeks. So by that point, he should be back. Likely conditioned, ready to probably play against us at that point. So they'll have their receivers there again. Maybe a little bit of hope there. Their receivers are back. I think their defensive line is pretty solid. Vahasek is a really good nose tackle for them. He was the guy that the very last drive for Carolina that had the roughing the passer call, which I don't think it was either. I don't really agree with, but it was.
Close.
But yeah. Glad it went our way though, because how many of those plays don't go our way?
More than they should.
Yeah. Miles Murphy is a really good defensive lineman for them as well. Desmond Evans, 5-star guy. I don't know what he's going to be like this year. I've heard some good things, but I think they're, I just think State's going to find a way to win this game. I think this defense will feast on them. I just think they're going to. I think, again, it's a matter of where's Josh Downs. Just take Josh Downs away, make J.J. Jones or Antoine Green beat you the whole game. Just I would say this, though. They have a formula. Our defense has not changed. Their offense has not changed what they want to do. So maybe you do just run British Brooks majority of the game. That worked last year. So I don't know, but I do think State gets this win. I think it will be close than people think it's going to be honest with you, because it's a rivalry game. I don't think a team that's like down here, if we think stereotypical State fan, Carolina sucks and State's amazing, and it doesn't really matter when it comes to rivalry games. So
out the window.
But I do think State gets the win here. Last time I went to Carolina was the year Jacoby Brissett ran all over them.
2014.
Last time I was there, Reggie Gillespie scored 5 touchdowns. So
the fight afterwards.
Oh, sorry. Last time you were there. Yeah. I just got you. My fault.
I was there.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think it's a win. So to me, my record, I think State goes 11-1 this season. I can't believe I just
All right. So, Michael, anything you want to wrap up with UNC before we wrap up this preview here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think of UNC this year. And like I said with the Louisville, it's just so hard to predict that far out. I could see them anywhere from 6 to 9 wins at that point in the season. I think we'll win, but I do think it'll be a close game. A lot of these games, if both teams are at full strength, it's a history being close. Yeah, I have it as a win too, and 11-1 as well.
Now, the one thing which I'll add, which I actually haven't even mentioned, is the fact that Gene Chizik came back as a defense coordinator for UNC, and I think that will definitely help the defensive side for sure. That just kind of came to me while you were talking, Michael. So, I mean, I think that'll help for sure. Go ahead, Michael.
I will be interested to see how the quarterback situation plays out because it sounds like both of them are still right there competing. I think Mac Brown said they're going to wait till the Sunday before their first game to name a starter. But if one gets, when they name a starter, does the other one transfer? I mean, they're both very talented. And then, what does that mean for the rest of the season? If one transfers and one gets injured, then what does the rest of the season look like? I don't know.
Well, and the interesting thing is that since Drake May, because Drake May isn't he the transfer from Alabama? Or
he already transferred in from Alabama.
So if he transfers again, you have to sit out a year.
He flipped his commitment.
No.
Yeah.
He didn't transfer. He was committed to Alabama.
Okay.
That's what it was.
His commitment. He is a UNC legacy. So I don't see him. Here's my view on the quarterback situation there. ACC Media Day, I think it was, or maybe it was during their ACC road trip thing for Carolina. I think actually that might have been when it was. Mac Brown said that neither QB has pulled away yet. So that's not necessarily I think that's more of a negative thing than is a positive thing because there's no one really standing out for them. They're both good, but it's really who's really making a difference. I don't think Drake May would transfer right away because if you're really that close of a battle, if Jacoby Criswell slips up, I don't think Drake May's like, okay, well then I have a chance to take my team, take the team.
Agree.
So
I don't see that getting settled to probably like the second, third, or fourth game of the season. Like I think that might be one of those the back and forth type deals.
Yeah, I agree. So, all right. So with that being said, we finally got through all 12 games. So just to kind of recap here. So record-wise, we'll kind of go down the line. But so I had them going 11-1, again, losing to Louisville, reluctantly. Mackenzie, you had them go 12-0. I don't even have to ask you what you had.
Easy.
Macon had 11-1, losing to Louisville 2. Okay. Michael, what'd you got?
11-1 with a loss for Florida State.
Okay. And Greg, I think you did the same thing, right? 11-1 Florida State. Love it. All right. So that being said, okay.
So you're saying that all of us think at the very least this is a historic season. To put that in perspective, at least we think it's a historic season. 11-1.
Can we take 30?
That's some high cotton.
Can we take
right
30
there.
seconds? 11-1. Does that get us to the ACC championship game?
That's the thing.
If we beat Clemson,
is that even? Oh, well, I mean, but
I think.
Don't put it past either that even if we lose to Clemson, that you're out of it. I mean, are you definitely working your way up the hill for sure? But I mean,
that's a big hill. You got to win. You got to win too.
Well, you got to win out, and they got to lose too.
They do.
Yeah.
Which who knows? But
makes it Clemson is the key.
Yeah, let me ask this question real quick, just I think it's an interesting point. We all have our predictions. All of us have us going 11-1 except Mackenzie. Who, if you had to pick an extra loss in there, we were to be? Because I feel like we're just like 11-1, 11-1. If you had to pick, where what would be the other loss?
What's
if you had to
case
pick one
scenario?
loss?
So like for me, I think 8-4 is worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario. Question.
UNC, Florida State, Clemson, maybe Louisville or Wake, but I don't see us losing more than 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I say 9-3.
Yep. Well, I have a futures bet on NC State over 8.5. So I'm saying no lower than 9-3 is the lowest of low. So,
which is that's if you're saying that's the worst case, that's the same as last year, which is crazy. So for me, I think worst case is like 8-4.
7-5.
Devin Leary gets injured.
Knock on wood right now.
Here's why. What happens if Devin Leary goes out and gets knock on wood, gets injured and really hurts himself?
He said the word.
I mean, I'm trying to be realistic. I think they're going to go 11-1. I think the X factor for this team this year is the offensive line. You got to pick one position group. But if I had to pick one more loss, I mean, I guess I'd pick Clemson,
Yeah.
but I wanted to say Florida State.
I think we've all said
I wanted
in
to pick Florida
unison
State.
that Florida State, Louisville, and Clemson are the 3 games that we have to get by this year. Those are the 3 biggest games for sure. So,
Toughest, yeah.
all right. So, Wolfpack Nation, there you go. That is how the football season is going to go this year. It's going to go exactly just like we just said, if not better.
Hey, and I'm also going to say this too. Me and Leighton last year both picked 9-3, and the season was
so
9-3.
And again, I will say this once and for all too, is that if we do not get by Clemson but still go 11-1, no State fan can really cry too much. No State fan can really cry too much going 11-1. That's insane.
Yeah, what are the possibilities that we go 11-1 and don't make it to the ACC championship game because we're in the Dagenham Atlantic Division?
Yeah,
that would suck.
It
So
would. But
then we could bring back state stuff, right?
100%.
Could we officially then bring it back?
Oh, Joe Ovius, Joe Giglio, those guys would be all over making fun of State.
I'd do it anyways.
That's true.
Yep.
Hey, Adam Gold, they'll be like,
they would
oh
have a
my
field day.
gosh,
Yeah,
State.
indeed. All right, Wolfpack Nation. Well, thank you all so much again for tuning in with us. First of all, if you haven't already, once again, hit that subscribe button, which is free to do, and also hit that notification bell so that way you're notified whenever we release any new NC State content. And actually, right after this, we're going to be breaking down and previewing the ECU game more in depth. So make sure you do not miss out on that. So, and then make sure, again, if you haven't already, check out our channel memberships for as little as $1.99 per month. A ton of value there, so make sure to go check that out first, and also to check out our kickoff promo while supplies last as well. And then also to again hit that like button, so that way we know that you're an NC State fan. Only NC State fans hit that like button, so make sure to hit that like button, so that way we know that you're an NC State fan. And also to give us a follow at Tuffy Talk Down on Twitter or Instagram. But again, an exciting and amazing season, hopefully here to come. We are so excited to be back in the car with you, Wolfpack Nation, and we're so excited to go along this journey with y'all. So here we go. As always, go Pack, baby. We'll see y'all soon.